July 23rd, 2020. Hello everyone, Seattle Mike MMA with Friends. Apparently, this hasn't started yet, the PFL MMA. I thought it should have by now, but they do these breaks, so I guess we're not starting until I believe 6. So the prelims are over. We'll go, or as PFL calls it, part 1, because they kind of split up good fights. I don't want to say good fights, bad fights, but like the UFC has their prelims and their main event. PFL just calls it part 1 and part 2. All right, what's up, RW? That sucks. It's not there on BT Sports, man. Alhamed Mahmoud. Good to see you, man. Snake Plissken. Last time I came this early, I almost became a father. Oh, that's hilarious. I think Diego wanted zero smoke from Cowboy. Yeah, he pulled out of that. What the hell happened? Because you've seen the responses from Donald Cerrone. I have never seen Donald Cerrone that upset, that focused for a fight. I mean, that was insane. He was saying he was going to beat him, he was going to punish him, he was going to drag him behind his horse. I mean, I don't know what Donald Cerrone planned on doing to Diego Sanchez, but yeah, I think you're right. I think he decided he wanted none of it. PBR says, for sure. No, man, BT Sport only has UFC. Donald was going to be violent in that fight. Yeah, and I was really looking forward to it, and I think Diego's like, man, that's not really the one I want to go out on. How do you guys feel about showcase fights? Boxing does this a lot. I have mixed feelings now about Diego Sanchez. I cut him a lot of slack because of how many times he's gotten hit in the head. And I say that jokingly, but not jokingly. I think, he's always been kind of a weird dude, but it seems like, he was always nice. Always seemed like a good guy. PFL Part 2 starting at 6 p.m. says this event has not started yet. So, there you go. But, a showcase fight, I don't see an issue with pulling in somebody from, like, LFA or something like that. I mean, boxing does it all the time. You can say, a lot of people could say, it's the casinos don't like it. Yeah, sure, maybe they don't like it. They don't like it in boxing either. But it happens. You have these kind of send-off fights. Hector Camacho, I can remember Hector Camacho famously having one. I think Julio Cesar Chavez had one. Roy Jones kind of had one. I mean, it was a reputable enough opponent, but not one that people thought was going to lose. Somebody you just throw in there where, he's like a 6-1 favorite. He's really supposed to win the fight. And with where Diego is in his career right now, I'm not saying he can't beat anybody in the UFC, but, he's not top 20 anymore. I don't know where he is, but, he might be in the bottom 10% of the roster at that weight class. And I don't see anything wrong with sending a guy off like that with something... something to celebrate his career. PBR Street Gang, hi MMA Mike, hey to all in chat. And the first donation of the night. Thank you, PBR Street Gang. Much appreciated, sir. So we got that going on. Today was a big day for the UFC, primarily for the parent company of the UFC, Endeavor, WME. For those that don't know what happened today, the UFC officially became a traded company. So I am now a part owner in the UFC. I'm going to let the share price bounce around for a while. I didn't put a lot into it, but I made sure to get my foot in the door. So, I'm able to get disclosings, of shareholders' disclosings, like for meetings and things like that. So I'm now officially a part owner of the UFC. If you also want to officially be a part owner of WME or the UFC, you can do that now for about $26. But there is a lot of news. We can, I don't know who's going to come in for Cerrone. Has anybody seen anything? Has anybody came in for Cerrone yet? That I haven't seen. But Cerrone still wants to fight, and the UFC still wants to get him a fight. I know Michelle Watterson stepped in on short notice to take over for the TJ Dillashaw fight. That's an interesting one. TJ Dillashaw was supposed to come back against Corey Sandhagen, and Dillashaw, he got a really bad cut in training from a headbutt, and of course that's going to, that's just going to continue to swell the rumors if, does he cut too much weight, supplement, abuse substance, whatever you want to call it, because when a fighter has thinner skin, of course they're more easily cut. Let's get it on. Seven says Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland. Oh, there you go. Kevin Holland jump in against Donald Cerrone. Oh, why not? That's interesting. That would be an interesting fight right now. I really think for Kevin's future, he should probably take a little bit of time off and work on his wrestling, since everybody has been exploiting lately. And what was I going to say? That's kind of become the game plan. But let's have some. If anybody wants to call in and talk about Diego Sanchez's career, what they think should happen with Donald Cerrone, the UFC going public, any of that stuff, feel free to call in while we're waiting for the PFL to start. So, and we'll just put that as the topic. If you guys want a topic, I know we had a poll on what you guys wanted to talk about. If we were going to have call-ins, after the fight, that was the most popular on the poll for call-ins. A lot of people said that they didn't want to call in. About a third of people. I imagine it's probably more than that, and that's fine. The reason I've kind of been talking about it more lately is that I got a lot of emails, and one longtime subscriber actually, saying he was unsubscribing and, moving on from the channel, which is fine. I mean, that's his right, because I wasn't involving people enough. I think I involve people more than just about any other channel out there, but, to each their own. I'm not going to take offense at it. That was probably going to become an issue at a later date, anyways, and I don't want to be begging people to to stay that don't want to be here. Nick Diaz versus Cowboy Cerrone, the rematch. He's ready. Supposedly he's ready. Everybody in Nick's camp, Nick's saying, that he was trying to get a fight before the pandemic, and then a lot of things, of course, went sideways for everyone. Nick hasn't gotten in there yet. This is the first time, this last week, after this last card, was the first time that Dana seriously addressed it, though, because he's been saying for a very long time, Nick Diaz does not want to fight. And now all of a sudden, he says, Nick Diaz wants to fight and I'm going to get him one. So that was a complete 180. He said flat out, Nick Diaz is going to fight. And I know that you can't always take everything that Dana White says as word. Because the guy, he's had alternate scenarios. He's had a different story of what has happened, with many, many, many fighters. And I think it's hard to believe that all 10, 12 of these fighters are all lying, all making things up, and that Dana White's 100% telling the truth on all of these things. I think these are negotiations. But what Dana White, I feel, would do in a Nick Diaz thing, I imagine he kept on saying, Nick Diaz is not ready to fight. He's not coming back. And that's kind of a little jab at Nick. That he's definitely trying to get a little jab at Nick. And, this is just my... from what I've seen from Dana White, my guess is that he thought Nick wanted too much money. So that's a good time. I like coming here. Hey, I like having you, Snake. All I have to say is I don't have to pay you to acknowledge me. I hear you, Snake. Are there people that only acknowledge you if you give a super chat out? I think I've seen that on channels. I'm sure I have. But we've had some issues with growth recently. It doesn't seem like we're promoted on anything to anybody anymore, except for the members. Which is fine, because we're slowly growing and bringing all the numbers back up with a strong community. So we're building a foundation. And, whether we have 7,000 subscribers or 70,000 or 700,000, we built it from the ground up. And we've built a community here, and that's why I like coming here every week. Or however many times a week that we do this. But Nick Diaz, I'm going to go through scenario of some opponents for Nick Diaz. So first, Donald Cerrone, that's not a bad comeback fight at all. And I don't know if Nick's ready to go now, but if he is, that's probably about, I don't like to say, that's probably about the most favorable matchup that he's going to get. And I'm not saying Nick wins that fight. He's been out for 5 years. But let's not kid ourselves. You're going to throw him in there with somebody like Jorge Masvidal. I know Jorge Masvidal just got knocked out. But look what Jorge Masvidal did to Nate Diaz. We want to, myself as a Diaz fan, all the Diaz fans and everybody want to say, that wasn't Nate. Nate was going to come on in rounds 4 and 5. If it wasn't stopped because of that cut, it's probably going to be stopped for some other reason. Jorge Masvidal was cutting him off on every angle. Absolutely dominating the fight and, making a good case that, that Nate Diaz shouldn't have been in there the first time, much less the second time. What's up, Ordinary Pete? All right, see you soon, sir. You know what I mean? I've been to places before you, and the people who tipped only got shout-outs. Yeah, I know what you mean, man. I know what you mean, and we appreciate the tips here, but we appreciate everybody, viewers, subscribers, everybody that's on here. But I think the Diaz brothers are quite the dichotomy right now. Now, in the past, people have talked about, the Diaz brothers themselves have talked about, we don't go after each other's opponents. And that's the reason that they say Nate never fought George. And now I don't know that Nate was offered a fight with George. I don't. I mean, Nate, Nate he's fought for, world title contenders. He's been towards the top of those rankings before. So maybe he could have fought George at one time. But he said, no, that's Nick's fight. I have a feeling Nick might say the same thing about Jorge. If he has Nate's blessing, maybe he goes through. But I just don't think that's a good matchup for him. That's a really tough fight to come back to after 5 years. And I know with recency bias, after, people say, oh, Kamaru Usman knocked out Jorge Masvidal, what would Nick Diaz do to him? 5 years outside of the cage, probably not a damn thing. Probably not a damn thing. I like a Carlos Condit fight. I really like a Robbie Lawler fight. Give Robbie a chance to get that fight back. What's up, Torrin Brown Jr.? Hey, good to see you, man. Man, if I would have known this PFL was going to not start till 6, I woke up from my nap, I would have gotten something to eat. But I've been working on the old physique. I've lost 24 pounds, guys. And I think about 6 months. It's been a slow burn. Yeah, almost 6 months. But since I kind of started. But I'm down 24. And probably want to lose about another 30. And I'll be happy. Did the main card start? What's up, Marcus Downey? No, the main card doesn't start until 6, man. And I didn't realize there was going to be such a big space in between the first card and the second card. But there you go. Viewer call-in, guys. There's a number, 425-791-8730. If you want to talk about anything going on in mixed martial arts, boxing, or just a cool story you had today. Maybe you had something interesting happen at work. This is a tight-knit community that I think people would go, what's up, Chef Johnson, with the donation? Howdy, Mike and friends. Thank you, sir. $5 donation. Oh, and PBR, I don't know what's wrong with me. I never did this, but I just realized I did not put up your name on the donation. So I will take care of that. Chef Johnson. Oh, that's a $5. Chef Johnson, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Super awesome. Good to see you, man. How's it going? And PBR Street Gang with the first donation earlier. Off to a good start here. $7 in the tip jar. I'm well, and yourself? Hey, I'm doing good, man. Just looking forward to some fights. I was wishing there wasn't an hour break in between, but, that's fine. Has the main card started? What's up, Rob Thursday? The main card has not started. We got a little bit of break in between, so I think we're going to throw in some trivia. Right on, same here. All right. Let's throw on some trivia, guys. Like I said, the UFC went public today. So if you want to own a piece of the UFC, you now can. And I'll even get you guys the stock ticker is EDR. So EDR is the stock ticker that stands for Endeavor. And I will tell you what it's trading at right now. $25.35. So for less than the price of a UFC t-shirt, you can now own a very small fraction of the UFC. And it's interesting when these companies go public, because you now have a volume of 1.59 million. You have shares, or average volume. I'm sorry, you have a volume of about 16 million times $25. That's not an entire valuation because, not the entire company was put out there. But now we have a little bit more information about the UFC. They have to list that there's 6,400 employees. They're also going to have to list now how much they pay each fighter. If you're a shareholder, like I am now, that's public information, and you can request that information, which I will be in any other public information that I can get. What's up, D Brown? Mike and all, how have you been? Hope you've been well. Haven't been around for a while. Just wanted to say, Nate Diaz did have a pre-existing injury and limited training before fighting Masvidal. Well, thank you for that info, D Brown. I don't know if I'd heard about that before, but maybe I'd forgotten. But yeah, I don't know if I knew that or not. So thanks for the info. John Coffey says, "What's up, man?" Says up, Mike and everybody. You guys, gals are all family now. Mike, you're doing great with your channel. Sorry if I miss any chat driving. Thank you, John Coffey, for the donation. Appreciate you, sir. John, everybody in here right now that's donating. John Coffey, PBR, Street Gang, Chef Johnson. These guys are repeat donations, and I always really appreciate everything that you guys do for the channel and help supporting us over here. As well as our premium members, Greg Brimstone, Milton Nelson, PBR Street Gang, Arcade Chaos, Billy Hughes, Brock Ellery, John Coffey, Phil D187, and one I've forgotten recently lately, and because I need to do more on it, and I haven't been, is the Patreon, and that's also PBR Street Gang, monthly donator of the premium member and the Patreon group. So thank you for that. Thank you everybody for that. Not interesting in Saturday's card at all. Literally does nothing for me. It's not the greatest card, man, but get it on, John, says Chef Johnson. You know what I'm more interested in? And I don't know if you guys even seen this, because they're on their own, what do you call it? They're on their own network now. But BKFC has an event actually tomorrow, and I was planning on doing it. If you go over to BKFC, it's like $3 a month, $3.99 a month, excuse me. It's not $3 a month. It's like $3.99 a month. If you go to bkfc.tv, or you can download it on Apple, Android, or anywhere that you any apps like that. I believe it might be $5.99 if you do it through the app. But the thing is, if you sign up for it on your computer, you can still download the app and log in. The only difference is where you signed up at. So BKTV gives you a little bit of break for signing up on a computer, so they don't have to give that 15% to Apple or Samsung. So they're like, hey, thanks for doing that for us. We're going to give you a couple bucks back every single month. So, I mean, that seems like a good way to go to me. And if you want to subscribe, well, that's the Apple app. I didn't realize that when I shared it was going to be the Apple app. But if you hit that one, that's a good link for it. But go to BKTV. It's better. $3.99 a month. And Chef Johnson, welcome to the Top Contender Club. Chef Johnson. Chef Johnson, a sponsor of the show now, a premium member. So, welcome to the club, sir. Oh, and we got a call in. Hello, you're on Fights with Friends.
Hey, Mike. How you doing? PBR speaking.
Hey, how's it going? Let me put you on the mic here so everybody can hear you.
Okay.
If that's all right.
Yeah.
Hey, so
How's it going?
Hey, good, man. How you doing? What do you think about all the news going on today? Anything you want to talk about in particular?
I kind of wanted to see the Donald Cerrone and Sanchez fight. Two of my favorite fighters for all time. Really was leaning towards Donald on it, obviously, but I kind of wanted to see it.
Yeah, I think that's really maybe the best fight for Nick Diaz to come back to, because I mean, 5 years out of the cage. I mean, I just don't see throwing him to a guy like Jorge Masvidal. I think he's going to get eaten up.
Yeah, I agree 100%. That long out of the cage, Nick Diaz, hands down, my favorite fighter of all time. But I thought that was a bit much stepping in after being gone so long.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, over 5 years. I'm surprised that, because it seems like we've been hearing, Nick Diaz has been coming back for forever, but, it was never really legitimate. It was just kind of rumors and him kind of saying, putting a few things out there on Twitter or whatever. But, man, yeah, he was in so many great wars. I remember first seeing him, I don't know when you remember first seeing him fight, but I remember him in that fight against Robbie Lawler. And he was a big underdog. Robbie Lawler was the name, and people really didn't know who Nick Diaz was yet.
The first time I saw Nick Diaz fight was when he was fighting Cyborg. And if you go back and you watch the end of that fight, Cyborg, the female fighter, was in the crowd, and you hear Nick Diaz telling her to F off because he just beat her husband's ass. Yeah, it's hilarious. Go back and watch the end of the fight. It's a good one.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch that. That was a good fight too against evangelistic Cyborg Santos, and man, every time that guy got in there, you know you're getting a great fight.
I want to say somebody throws something like a cup or a bottle or something like that, and he's flipping her he thinks it's her, I guess, and he's flipping her the bird, and you can see him tell her F off in the clip. But yeah, I don't know about him coming back after this long, even though he's one of my favorite fighters of all time. I don't know if it would be. I don't know if anybody else might agree with me out there. I really just like it when my fighters that I really like come back after their prime is gone.
I completely understand what you're saying. I don't feel like Diego Sanchez, him fighting Diego Sanchez, I don't think that would be a ridiculous matchup, honestly. I think that's probably about, we don't know where he's at. I think that would be a good comeback fight, if he's going to come back.
Possibly, for sure. But anytime either of the Diaz brothers, and I'm by far, I like Nate a hell of a lot. but definitely by far his older brother is one of the main reasons that I really enjoyed MMA. Funny enough, I really disliked him when I first initially started getting into MMA, the trash talking and all that stuff. And after seeing him fight, his combination of boxing and jiu-jitsu is just phenomenal.
Oh yeah, it's definitely an exciting time every time that he gets into the cage for sure. In all those bouts in Strikeforce, I remember. I mean, he might have had his best fights actually in Strikeforce, as good as as good as his fights in the UFC were.
Now, correct me. Somebody out there, I'm sure knows this, and it's one of my big regrets in life. I lived in Japan for a long, long time, and I lived in Japan like back during the rise in Pride. I want to say, did they initially start off in K1? But back in the day, I lived in Japan for a long, long time while this MMA was starting. I want to say Dan Henderson. I remember some Dan Henderson.
Yeah, he was
promos being cut back in the day, back when he was called Decision Dan, before he developed the H-bomb.
Yeah.
But I really am interested in whatever type of version that we can see of Nick Diaz, as long as he's good in competition. And one of the big injustices that I think that really happened to a fighter along the way is him getting banned from the UFC for smoking weed for so many years. I think we missed out on some phenomenal fights because of that silliness, regardless of what you think about weed or not.
Oh, I completely agree. And I mean, my stance on weed, I will tell you, somebody who, I don't know if I'd say a complete 180, but I mean, I was never a guy who, I thought of as weed, as marijuana, as like a drug, basically like a hardcore drug. That's what I was told as a kid. I never smoked it in high school. I know maybe people don't believe me, but maybe I was one of the few. But now I see it, as less harmful than alcohol. And I believe it is. It's obviously not a performance enhancer. I mean, if I'm going to fight you, please smoke all the weed you want before we get in there.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. But I'm currently at work. I was out having a little bit of a break, and I saw that you were actually had people calling in. I was like, oh my God, I've wanted to talk to you for so long. I've been a big fan of your channel for a good while now. And I very much thank you for what you do. And when now it's, while I watch a fight, I listen to you instead of listening to the announcers. But originally I found you from, I wasn't able to watch a UFC fight due to work. And it was just trying to find some reaction stuff on YouTube so that I could at least get some details of the fight. And I'm really glad to say hello to you after all this time.
Hey, well, I'm glad to be able to put a voice, a voice to the name, and thank you for being a part of this channel and all the donations, being a premium member. I really enjoyed having you as part of the community.
Thank you much, brother. I'll talk to you again later.
All right, I'll let you get back to work. Have a good day. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, guys, the PBR Street Gang premium member on the line. So if anybody wants to call in, we got about 25 minutes until the PFL main card starts. Look like we got a real fighter in here. Bruce, we got Bruce Iron Lion. 3 weeks till the fight. What is up, my man? Hey, good luck. I hope training's going well. If not, if you don't want to call in, because I know you got a fight coming up, that's fine too. But if you want to call in, brother, and get everybody hyped for the fight, let us know what's going on. Call in 425-791-8730. I was actually just about to talk about tomorrow's BKFC card, actually. It hasn't really been advertised that much. I didn't see it a whole lot. But let's check it out real quick while we're waiting for the next fights. And just going to bring it up on the screen so everybody else can see what I'm looking at. We got a card tomorrow. We got Kleckler and Burns in the main event. But we got some heavyweights on here, guys. We got Mark Godbeer coming in against Mick Terrell. That's going to be a fun one. Marcel Stamps versus Mike Richmond. Dilworth Kleckler versus Josh Burns in the main event. BKFC is always so good. It's always so good. And like I said, our friend Bruce, the Iron Lion Machidio, that's him in the chat, fake black belts. He'll be fighting in BKFC, like he said, in about 3 weeks. I'm going to see if I can find a better... Tapology's usually really good, but there is just like not a lot of info on this at all. I'm going to see if SureDog has some better things so we can get some records and weights and all that thing, because the BKFC site itself has really nothing, not much of anything. John Coffey says, love the caller. Yeah, that was fun. That was good to get to talk to PBR and, hear about his experiences watching Nick Diaz and his love for the game. A Saturday card gonna be at the Apex. I believe so. The UFC never updates its site, man. So I don't know if it's out there somewhere else. I mean, I guess maybe Tapology has that. But the last time I seen, there was still no venue listed. But I'm assuming this late in the game, I don't think they were able to find a venue. I think they would have, there was no tickets for sale. So it must be at the Apex Center. So, and yeah, I swear the BKFC 17 is going down tomorrow, but, man, I am not able to really find it, good information on it anywhere. So I guess that, Tapology, that's going to be, the best that we get there. I'm going to go back to the, display capture here, and, there you go. Prelims start at 4 p.m. Oh, what number do I call? I actually enjoy the here. Oh, here we go. 425-791-8730, Bruce. So, and up there, if anybody's looking for it, it's in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. So, and anybody watching, keeping up with the NFL draft, it looks like the Jets just took their number 2 pick. I didn't realize they were that far into this. I guess they do round 1 first and then go from there. But yeah, there you go. 2 quarterbacks. All right, out of Hollywood, Florida. This is Mike Fights with Friends. How you doing?
Yo, Mike, it's Bruce, bro. What's up, man?
Hey, not much. Haven't heard from you in quite a while, man. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah. I'm driving around, working and stuff, and sometimes every time I see you live, sometimes when I'm driving around and stuff, I'll just listen to it. But yeah, man, I hope all is well, man. Everything good?
Yeah, everything's going good. How about you, man? You still working a million jobs?
Yeah, same old, trying to do my thing, man. I gotta hustle to pay the bills, man. I'm out here, But I seen you going through the fight card for this next coming up BKFC, and like I feel like BKFC's been like really like kind of half-assing it on their on like advertising the shows and stuff like that, because the card that I'm supposed to be fighting on is May 21st, and that's 3 weeks away. And they have not, like, I know a few fighters that are supposed to fight on that card, like Pitbull, Thiago Alves.
Really?
Uli.
I didn't know that. Oh.
Yeah, Uli Monster, I think is supposed to be on there. They said Baboon was supposed to be on there. So it's supposed to be like a stacked card. But yet, right now, I guess they're focusing in on this card that's coming up tomorrow, and so that's why they're not advertising it as much. That's my guess. But I don't know. I feel like they're like kind of like they didn't even advertise this one as much as they should have. And so yeah, I'm just kind of waiting. I'm supposed to be fighting some dude from Team Alpha Male. His name is Eddie Hoach. He's 1-0. He fought on the last BKFC card they had in Miami. But he's from Team Alpha Male from California. And, yeah, we're scheduled to fight at 155 on May 21st.
All right. So you have some boxing bouts. I know you have some MMA bouts. Is this your bare knuckle debut?
No, I actually fought. Since so many guys want to do bare knuckle fighting, David Feldman, I guess, created like a smaller show called Toe the Line. I don't know if you've seen any of those shows.
Oh, I've seen it advertised, but a lot of times they're at like 2 or 3 in the morning. And
yeah. So they had I think 2 or 3 events, which is like a smaller. It's pretty much what I would say is a feeder league to bare knuckle FC. So many guys want to do bare knuckle now. I guess David Feldman created this smaller show, which is kind of ran by Nathan Shook, which is like the matchmaker for BKFC. And so I guess I did my tryout. I did my fight in October, and I fought a guy named Will Chope. I don't know if you've seen that fight, but Will Chope was like an ex-UFC fighter, tall-ass dude. He was like fucking 6'6", like a tall dude with over 120 fights.
Oh, wow.
But I fought him a few months ago on Toe the Line, and it was pretty good. I got the knockout win in the second round, and then they gave me a 3-fight contract for Bare Knuckle FC.
Oh, well, congratulations. Yeah, I'm going to have to look that up. Do you know it's probably on the BK FC
yeah,
app?
it's on the app, but I mean, you got to look through, you would have to look through like the whole event, because I don't think they've posted like my individual fight. But you can always go on my YouTube channel, though, the Fake Black Belts by Bruce Iron Lion. Like, I posted the whole entire fight between me and Will Chope on my channel. I've been posting a lot of my fights, like the Crazy Horse fight. I've been posting a lot of those fights. All my fights, I'm trying to build my YouTube channel. So you can check that bare knuckle fight out, my first one, on my YouTube.
All right, yeah. Well, everybody check out, if you're not already subscribed to Fake Belts by Bruce Iron Lion. He's been a friend of the show for quite some time and a subscriber now. So please go over there, guys. Show him some love. And, I mean, check out his channels. Your videos are hilarious. Is that your dojo that you film those from? Some of them?
Yes, some of the videos that you see me in. Those that's over at American Top Team Sunrise. That's where I've been training at for a long time. But shortly after the Crazy Horse fight, what do you call it? I came up. I don't know. Like I created Fake Black Belts on Instagram, and then it within 4 weeks I had like 10,000 followers. Joe Rogan had followed me, and like Joe Rogan's gave me like fucking like a bunch of shout outs on his podcast, and a bunch of UFC, like half the UFC roster follows Fake Black Belts, and like the whole martial arts community kind of like really digs the Fake Black Belt thing, because I'm just out here exposing these martial arts frauds. I had Steven Seagal actually blocked me on Instagram because I was exposing him and his antics. And I've had so many. Diego Sanchez blocked me. Joshua Fabia, the guy who trains Diego Sanchez, they both blocked me on fake black belts. I was like exposing his coach Joshua Fabia for his like crazy antics and stuff. So he blocked me.
That dude is an interesting guy. What the hell?
Yeah, it's pretty funny shit. It's pretty funny shit. And so I don't know. Fake black belts is blown up, but I have not been on YouTube. So in the last 2 months, I just started my YouTube account, and I'm really trying to grow it now because on Instagram I have like almost 50,000 followers. But so I'm trying to, if I could just get a couple of them to come over to YouTube, that's what I'm trying to do now. So you know what I mean?
Nice. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to get the cross-platform. Excuse me. I still haven't even done Instagram. I got about 4,000. I think it's almost 4,000 over there on Twitter. But yeah, a lot of times people kind of tie down to their one platform. But I mean, I think YouTube's the best. Everybody over on Instagram, maybe of course I'm biased, but everybody on Instagram should definitely be on your YouTube channel.
Yeah, I'm trying to do that, man, but right now I just wanted to stop by and just say what's up, hopefully we could talk a little bit later when I'm not working, a little bit more about the fight and the preparation, but right now I'm training really hard down here in South Florida, and I'm getting prepared to fight this guy Eddie Hoach, so I'm very excited for this fight. Everybody tune in, man.
All right. Well, good luck. I know you'll do well. If I don't talk to you before the fight, good luck. Hopefully, I do. And
for sure. No, we'll talk. No, for sure. I'll definitely come back on your show and we'll talk, man. Because I'm always every time you go live, I always hop in for at least a good 20 minutes and I'll listen in. So man, I appreciate you, man. I gotta head out of here, man. But take it easy, man. Thanks for having me on here.
All right. You too. Thank you, Bruce. Have a great day.
Peace, dude.
Peace. All right, guys. Bruce the Iron Lion Lutchmedial. Like he said, he'll be fighting Eddie Hoach on May 30th. So a month from tomorrow, May 21st. 3 weeks. So 3 weeks away. BKFC. Still not advertising this. I'm going to look up BKFC 18 and see what I can find there. Oh, there we go. It's just Tapology says it is an event that will happen on May 21st, but they don't have any fights up for it yet. So, I guess Bruce kind of broke the news right here of who will be fighting at BKF 18. I guess I need to get my website up because, nobody else is doing it and talking about it, but we got the fights now. Torrance says, like it better with a crowd for some reason. I hate football. UFC 262 is a pretty good card. Oh, that's a fire card, man. Sad that MMA fighters still have to work regular jobs. Just goes to show you that MMA doesn't pay right. Hey, yeah, but guys, like I said, I've known Bruce the Lion for going on probably 2 years now, and nobody works harder than that guy. That guy. Literally, he's working like 3 jobs and doing MMA and boxing and training people at his dojo. It's just insane. I don't know how the guy finds enough hours in the day, but literally one of the hardest working guys that you will ever meet. And just a super nice guy. So I hope you guys give him a follow over there on fake black belts. And I didn't realize that was... I wondered, because Joe Rogan had talked about fake black belts on the show, but I only knew the YouTube channel, and I had seen, that it hadn't blown up or anything. So I was like, man, but I was thinking, is that the same fake black belts is my friend Bruce. And yeah, sure enough, that's him. So that is awesome that he got a shout out from the great Joe Rogan. No, Will Chop. I remember Will Chop. That's cool. Cool shit. Did you see Justin G accusing Jorge Masvidal of cheating? No, I didn't. What was the accusations? Like supplements or? I didn't see anything. Yes, they were really slacking with the promos. I guess they will start advertising after tomorrow night's event. I hope so. No need to call in. Looks like I have the chat to myself. Ha! Bruce gonna sub now, both IG and to here, bro. Well, thank you, John. Thank you for having me on, man. I'm out here delivering pizzas right now. Like I said, the hardest working man out there. So, if you happen to get a pizza delivered from Bruce Lyon, Let's Medial, make sure and give him a big tip. Justin G should shut up because he doesn't want no smoke with a Jorge Masvidal. Masvidal would beat the brakes off Justin. Really? You think so? Man, I like that fight. I didn't realize those two were going at it. Talk about a fan-friendly fight. Jorge Masvidal and Justin Gaethje. And, I mean, jump right into it. And, I mean, how great is that for Jorge coming off of a loss? I mean, coming off a loss, you might not necessarily want to be the guy that runs his mouth first, that goes out there and saying things to people. But now that Justin did it for him, now Jorge, can sit back a little bit, wait for other people to respond for him, a little bit. And then he can say, hey, keep my name out of your mouth, or we're going to have some problems, and let people call for that fight. Because that fight, I mean, it doesn't need any promotion, but any extra promotion would definitely be great. Mike, don't pay big money for a website. I can help out for free. Well, thank you, John. I appreciate it. I do have a website. I guess I'll talk about this now. I didn't want to talk about it because I thought it might have been somebody in the chat for a long time. But I've been trying to get fightswithfriends.com for years. When I first started this channel, over 3 years, I've been trying to get it. When I first went to MMA, somebody from another channel I won't mention registered the name. And I've sat there and watched the expiry date over and over and over again. And when it gets within 2 weeks, they keep renewing it. I even finally had GoDaddy go and say, hey, can you negotiate with this person on my behalf? Just see what they want for it. I don't, like being extorted like that. But, I might just have to do fightswithfriends.org. If you went to fightswithfriends.org, or MMAwithfriends.com. Those are actual websites that I put up. Never ended up doing anything with them because I wanted to transfer everything over to fightswithfriends.com. But that's just how it happened. So I know Masvidal used to be 155. Gaethje's 155. Masvidal's 170. We're talking about Gaethje moving up. I know Masvidal used to be... I don't know. A lot of lightweight fighters. Lightweight was forever the most competitive division in the sport. It's still right there. Of course, there's so much damn talent between lightweight and welterweights, but I've heard more lightweights talking about fighting at welterweight. You've heard Tony Ferguson mention it, saying that he fought at welterweight before, and why not? Dustin Poirier actually called for the third Conor fight at 170. He says he requested to Conor and the UFC to have it at 170. Now, he was denied. They will fight at 155. But there you go. And you've had a lot of fighters shifting between 155 and 170. Anthony Showtime Pettis, who, of course, recently jumped into over there at PFL. Unfortunately for him, lost his debut. Connor has fought at 170. Donald Cerrone has moved up and down. Diego Sanchez. The list goes on and on from guys that have been at 155 and 170. My chat froze. I thought I was the only one chatting. Wow. Yeah. Oh, that sucks, Snake. I'm glad you figured it out. I'm glad. Hopefully it's unfrozen now. I think Masvidal is way past his prime now, says Bruce. He might be a little past his prime. Kamaru Usman, I'm not trying to make excuses for Jorge, because, Kamaru is definitely the better fighter. He's one of the greatest welterweights of all time. I think he deserves that number one pound-for-pound ranking in the world right now. But he's a very, very big welterweight. I've heard people say that he walks around at well over 200 pounds. I believe Masvidal might have said his walk around is like 184. It's not very heavy compared to Usman. And I know that sounds like a lot of weight, and it is too much. Even 29 pounds to get down to 155, that is a lot of weight. More weight than, I would like to see fighters cutting. But, the truth is, a lot of these guys cut a lot of weight. And, yeah, I think Masvidal, I think he could make 155 fairly easy. Who would you pick between Justin G and Jorge, Mike? Personally, I think Jorge would beat the brakes off that guy. Personally, I think Justin Gaethje, that's a tough one because styles make matchups, man. And, Jorge Masvidal, I know we have recency bias of him coming off that Kamaru Usman fight. But, his boxing is very, very good. You could see the angles, the way he cut off in Nate Diaz. And I know somebody who has mentioned the injury to Nate Diaz. Something I would say I think was more important for Nate Diaz, Nate and Nick, and both of them talked about this, was the pressure of that New York show. And I know Nick about had a panic attack, and these guys both have issues with anxiety. It's one of the reasons, that they smoke marijuana. It's a self-medicating thing. From growing up in Stockton and going through whatever they went through, they have bad anxiety. And that it was the first ever New York show that was built up to be so huge. And then you find out the president is there. Regardless of what you think of that certain individual that was president at the time, you got the president at your fight. That's a big deal. And it was basically the biggest thing going on in fighting at the time. And I will say Nate didn't seem himself. But, those angles are great. And I'm interested to see how he would do against Justin. I would favor Justin. And Justin, especially at 155, Justin just hits so damn hard. Could see Masvidal getting a TKO against Justin G. Usman is a tank. Usman has actually commentated for 3 of my Titan FC fights. Oh, I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that he commentated for Titan FC. I know Titan's over there on Fight Pass now. So I'm going to have to check that out. Hey, any fights that you post on your channel too, just post the ones where you win. No. But post them, yeah, and feel free to let us know in the chat. I'll definitely check them out. Other people will check them out. I know they like being able to identify with the people that they talk to in the chat. And I love on the phone that you called him Crazy Horse, because for whatever reason he went by that name for so damn long, and it just drives him apeshit crazy. And of course that's why he hung up on me during our interview. But Justin claims Masvidal cheated in the rematch with Usman. Okay, I don't know. I don't know how he would have cheated. Well, I don't know what the accusations are, but I mean, I'm careful about throwing too many accusations out about people. And, it's not Usman doing this. But on the same token, Kamaru Usman has had a lot of allegations about him thrown out there. And I remember him going for about 16 months only being tested only being tested by USADA one time when Holly Holm was tested it was some ridiculous amount. It was like 10 times in the same amount of time. I did check recently. Usman has been tested much, much more. That's public knowledge on the USADA site. In 2020, Kamaru Usman was tested 8 times, so I do have to mention that to be fair. But yeah, there's been the accusations, and I've talked to fighters. I don't want to throw a name out there, but I know I've talked to a professional fighter he's fought in the UFC and different places, and he told me, he's like, man, the Diaz brothers are right. He's like, at that level, everybody's on steroids, man. And, of course, I would never, ever put names out for, things like that. But, I've had fighters tell me, I took TRT because if I didn't, I'm in an uneven playing field because there's so many people that are beating the tests. And, that's just what I've been told. All right, PFL is officially on ESPN2 right now, guys. So if you head over to ESPN2, you'll find that. I hope my headset works. It's an old headset I started using again, but it's got a really long cord, so it works good for these. There we go. There we go, guys. That way I can hear what's going on there. I don't need it right this minute, but I call him Crazy Horse because I know he hates it. Right, man? That's the name, man. Oh, where exactly did Masvidal cheat? Is Gaethje just trying to catch a fade from Masvidal? Yeah, I don't know. I've not heard any accusations about Usman before, though. So it's hard to say. Sam 302, Jorge would embarrass Justin G. After Kamaru Usman knocked him out with one punch, you think Gaethje can't do the same? I'm not saying he will. Because, MMA math, as we know, is not always, perfect. But Justin hits hard, man. Yeah. If Usman KO'd him, it's like, oh, why did Gaethje say, yeah. I fought as a professional since 2011. I fought in pretty much every combat sport. Never been tested for steroids. A lot of fighters on the local shores are roided up big time. Well, hey, thank you for letting me know that, Bruce. That I think answers a lot of questions for a lot of fans. The highlight stated that Jorge Masvidal cheated. On the other hand, that would be a good matchup at 55 or 70. Oh, take my money. Take my money. Are you kidding me? Jorge Masvidal versus Justin Gaethje? Who does not want to see that fight? Regardless of, who you pick, who you think will win, who you want to win. That's a money fight. I'm a lot more excited about that fight than I am about Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier 3. I know, Conor brings the casuals to the yard or whatever, but, man, if you promote Jorge Masvidal and Justin Gaethje right, that should be a very, very big fight. Tony Ferguson versus Jorge Masvidal would be good. That's another one too. What's up, Jason Kelf? When I fought in Tough Man contest when I was a kid. Lost to my mom every time. That's funny, Jason. And how many people remember the old Tough Man contest? Because I fought in a few of those years back. I think I was 25 or 26 years old. So you're talking about 15, 16 years ago. I fought in those, maybe even 17. Age myself now. But no, those were a lot of fun. That's where we got Butterbean from. And they used to come in. They would just come into your local town. I think it's kind of like Tough Enough or Rough and Rowdy is now. And they would come in and basically whatever local talent wanted to fight each other, it was like jump in there, man, and get in there and fight. And then I remember, and I think I'm okay to say this now because it's been years, but I remember they came back to town, and I had fought the year before, I believe it was Seahawks signed defensive tackle Robert Camdici. Last played for the Dolphins in 2019, was selected 29th overall in the 2016 draft. Just a quick update for the Seahawk fans out there. But when I came back the next year, they told me, the promotion people for Tough Man Contest said, hey, if you're asked by the commission, you haven't had any amateur fights. Because anybody with any amateur fights, it used to be you had to be less than 10 amateur fights. But then the next time the commission was there, they're like, hey, if they ask you, you cannot have had any amateur fights, even with us. So if you fought in Tough Man before, you're not supposed to be fighting. So when they ask you, you tell them that you haven't fought. So there you go. The promotion actually asked me to lie. So I'm not surprised by, fighters not being tested. Ferguson is done for, so is Masvidal. Mama was a beast. Oh my goodness. Yeah, no, I think that's a great fight. Actually, I fought in 33 of them. I went 14 wins, 19 losses, never got KO'd. Nice. Only lost in boxing, only contest. Full contact, I was unbeaten. Oh, I didn't realize that, Jason. That's awesome, man. That's a lot of fights. I have no full contact fights as far as like MMA or anything like that. I've been looking at that Street Beefs. I've been talking to the guy that runs the West Coast Street Beefs because it's actually like an hour and a half from here. The Street Beefs Scrapyards. I think I'm going to go over there and check out their next event. It's a limited seating. They don't even charge or anything. It's so new. Just if you want to view the fights, you got to go and help out. So I'm going to go there and help out and check it out. And there's people fighting. It looks like of every level of skill and age and things. And I hope you guys can get me to 10,000 subscribers because if you do, I will jump in there in Street Beefs. So make sure and share this channel everywhere if you want to see my 42-year-old ass get beat. No, I will train hard, I promise. Just my 2 cents. MMA with friends is better than friends. So in my opinion, you got the better URL. Oh, well thank you, John Coffey. Because a lot of people are typing MMA, I guess. Of course, you would. Gaethje is a pure lightweight. I wouldn't want Gaethje moving up. I wouldn't be surprised if Masvidal walks above 180. The man likes McDonald's. Yeah, I think he said he walks around at like 184. And I don't know about I don't know about Bruce, but I know a lot of fighters, they kind of know their walk-around weight, like to the pound. Like when I was competing in judo all the way back to 156, this is what I remember the most, is 156, and I used to weigh 165 all the time. And I would drop 9 pounds, and I would take a week to do it. And, to me, 9 pounds seemed like a lot. I mean, I was doing it, probably would, honestly, sometimes I feel like I would have been better off just dehydrating myself out at the last minute rather than starving myself for a week. But, I mean, was in high school when I was still growing. So that's, this is years back. When I went to 172, I stopped losing matches, basically. I was almost undefeated at 172 until the national championships. But, and then I walked around at 172. I walked around at 172 with my shoes on. Street Beefs. Oh, do you have any footage of your fights? I don't, Bruce. I contacted my old sensei years back about looking for some video of my old judo fights. And he said he thought he had them, but he never, still hasn't sent me anything. I'm going to have to get back to him again. Emiliano Sordi versus Chris Camozzi. That's going to be the first fight of the night here, guys. Fighters jumping in now. Chris Camozzi won his last fight by first round submission. Emiliano Sordi, I believe, was the PFL lightweight champion from last year, and Chris Camozzi making his debut. There you see Emiliano Sordi as PFL light heavyweight champion. All 5 of his wins last season were by finish. And guys, I don't know if it's because of not being able to have fans and the situation that we're in, but there are less fighters in every division this year. Chris Camozzi, 4 years older at 34, an inch taller at 6'3". He'll have an inch reach advantage at 78 inches. But interesting enough, Sordi has a 3-inch leg reach advantage, 45 inches. Mike, you weighed 165 at one point, right? Justin G walks around at 190 to 195. Damn, that's a lot of weight to drop. What's up, Robert Kerrigan in the house? Alex Stinkado, good to see you. Almost forgot about fights tonight. Forgot one championship last night was too drunk. Yep, Sam Thurchico. All right, guys, out of the blue corner with an MMA record 25-14. He is a plus 280 underdog. Representing the United States, Chris Camozzi. PFL debut. So imagine you're making your debut and you're fighting the champ. Talk about being thrown to the lions. All right, representing the country of Argentina, 22-8 as a professional with 16 knockouts and 6 submissions. He is a minus 370 favorite, Emiliano Sordi. And guys, I can comfortably say there's a pretty good chance this fight's going to end with a finish, because in 22 wins, Emiliano Sordi has never won a decision. Keith, I smell like cigarettes and alcohol, Peterson will be the referee. That's just what Dominic Cruz told me. All right, guys. Reigning defending champion, Emiliano Sordi. This will not be for the belt, of course. You got to get through the whole tournament. But it would be a huge victory for Chris Camozzi if he should pull off the upset against Emiliano Sordi. And a nice low leg kick from Camozzi to start this out. Camozzi in the black, Sordi in the yellow. Nice couple of left hands there from Camozzi. Oh, big combination. There's the 3-piece from Emiliano Sordi. Oh, and a big right hand. This guy throws bombs. I mean, oh, another big right hand from Sordi. Emiliano Sordi's, he's kind of like Derek Lewis. Derek Lewis, I know, said that, oh, nice 1-2 there from Sordi. He said he doesn't ever think about a decision. Doesn't ever think about a decision. He just goes in there to finish the fight because that's what you're supposed to do. And you see Sordi's decision, 16 seconds, 113 and 123, his 3 fastest PFL finishes. And there's a combination from Camozzi. Chris Camozzi showing no fear and a willingness to mix it up here with Emiliano. Oh, nice right hand. Big right hook and right hand from Sordi, but he eats a right hook from Camozzi coming in. Some uppercuts from Camozzi. Chris Camozzi mentally is in this fight. Oh, man, 3 big left uppercuts from Camozzi and Sordi throwing a wild combination. These guys are just banging now. Exciting first round. Nice lefty hand there from Chris Camozzi. And last week, we saw a plethora of upsets. Both champions that were fighting were upset. Lance the Party Palmer was upset at lightweight. The featherweight, I can't think of his name, featherweight champion, I know it'll come to me, was also upset though. And then Anthony Showtime Pettis was upset in his PFL debut. Oh, big exchange of right hands from Clash's Clay Collard, who is really starting to look like a talent. Even though Showtime had him hurt at the end of that fight, Collard looked very good. Oh, nice defense, turning defense into offense for Camozzi, lands the right hand, and a counter left uppercut. Chris Camozzi, big combination there. He is taking over the flow of this fight. And Emiliano Sordi has a big cut above his eye there. It looks like the left eye. Hard to see from the angle. Spinning back fist attempt there from Sordi, and Camozzi's going to tie him up. But, man, total strikes so far are close. And the takedown from Emiliano, he decided to take it down. He's got full mount, and this is not obviously where Chris Camozzi wants to be. Gives Sordi his back. Well, now he's on his side here. Hope the UFC brings back Clay Collard. Clay might win the tournament, though, man. He might not even care. Remember, Anthony Pettis, he chose to go to PFL. Oh, and look at this. Emiliano Sordi sinking in the choke here. He might have it. Oh, this is very close. He's going to get this, guys. I don't see Camozzi having an exit. Well, he's not under the neck. I thought he had it. And there you go. Camozzi pulls the hand off. Man, it is so much harder to get a submission than it was in early MMA. These guys have just, they defend the worst positions all the time, so they're so prepared. Eddie Alvarez can't catch a break. Yeah, Eddie Alvarez lost last night. That was too bad. Great fight, though, in 1FC. If you haven't seen it yet, sorry for the spoiler. But oh, and big ground and pound here from Emiliano Sordi. You know, he took the fight. Camozzi was being competitive on the feet, and Sordi took it down to where he knew it wouldn't be competitive. And that's on the ground, and, you know, that's what a winner does, is takes the fight where he wants to. And it looks like Chris Camozzi is probably going to make it here through the first round. It's about all you can say for him here at the end. Big shots from Sordi here on the ground. Oh, and Sordi takes mount again so we can throw some ground and pound, but the round is over. Red King, Sam 302. Curtis Millender is no joke. His knockout over Thiago Alves in the UFC was awesome. And apparently, Bruce Lachmedio just broke on this show. He broke Thiago Pitbull Alves will be fighting at BK FC 18. So will Bruce the Lion Lachmedio. All right, guys. Fighter performance, new stat. Score from 1 to 100 based on impact in the cage. That is not the official decision. This is just something they do. They have a lot of different sources and fans score. And they can go in and they give a from 1 to 100 what they would have scored the fight. That seems a bit... 100 points seems a bit much. I like the idea of a 20-point must system. But, what's up, Brock Ellery in the house? Doing good, my friend. How we doing, everybody? Might not be here long tonight, but gotta show my support. Thank you, Brock. Good to see you in here, man. Nice inside leg kick there from Sorty in her right hand. Yeah, you got to spend some family time sometimes. Big right hand there from Sorty. I will tell you, I didn't wake up in time and felt like I was ready for a stream last night. It said it's going to be such a long weekend with BKFC tomorrow. But I did watch the 1FC main card last night, and it was very good. It's worth a watch. Oh, nice inside leg kick there from Kamosi. And a combination there from Sorty. And, I mean, this fight is competitive standing. It's very competitive. It was last round until Sorty decided to take it down to the ground. Breaking TJ Dillashaw and Diego Sanchez fights were both canceled on May 9th. Any thoughts? I did see that. Oh, big exchange there. Oh, and shots to the body from Kamosi. I think Diego Sanchez is scared to death. TJ, it looks like it was a cut in training. Oh, big shot from Kamosi, and he hurt Sorty. Look for Emiliano Sorty to take this fight to the ground now. Kamosi has showed the ability to rock him several times. Nice right hand there from Sorty. Oh, big overhand right from Sorty. But when you're a big puncher... Oh, big left hand from Sorty. And he falls off balance. That was a slip. He falls to the ground. Kamosi's going to come into his guard, and that might end up being a big mistake. But here's some ground and pound for Kamosi. You know, and Kamosi just fighting Sorty like he would anyone else, but this guy's a sniper on the ground. But Chris Kamosi really putting on a performance for his PFL debut, coming in against the light heavyweight champion. And, you know, he's scoring the ground and pound right now. Kamosi is legit. What weight class is Clay Collard? He's a lightweight. Or was that welterweight? No, I'm sorry, it was welterweight. You're right, because Pettis is fighting at welterweight now. Nice ground and pound here from Kamosi, who has top control. And he seemed to be getting the better of it on the feet. Well, it was pretty close on the feet, but now Kamosi in half guard raining down the ground and pound on Sorty. I mean, we could really see an upset here tonight, guys. And this would be huge. Clay has been doing his thing in boxing as well. Yeah, he's been fighting a lot. Big ground and pound here from Chris Kamosi. Keith Peterson taking a look there. MMA or nada. What's up, man? What's up, Torrin? What's up, yo, Robert? TJ cut brow. Diaz went cuckoo. He is cuckoo, man. Dang, TJ Drugasaw is out of his belly, Corey. Oh, that's funny. And now Emiliano Sorty with the takedown, though. And he's got a lot of time to work on the ground here. The minute 20. Nice big right hand there from Sorty. I said earlier, Emiliano Sorty has finished every single one of his wins. 16 knockouts and 6 submissions. Chris Kamosi is giving him a hell of a fight tonight. Oh, nice right hand on the ground and pound there from Sorty. Kamosi has been having a great round before getting on the bottom this one time, trying to strike some from the bottom here. Oh, and look at this. Kamosi trips him up, and he's hitting Sorty up against the fence. Oh, and there's a knee. And Kamosi works his way up. Chris Camozzi having a hell of a round in his PFL debut right now. Killishaw, Dillashaw. TJ has a gash in his eyebrow, but Rose fought with a nose injury last Saturday, so I don't know, man. Yeah, you don't. If you have a bad cut, though, you don't want to jump into a fight, and I'm guessing they're not going to... Oh, Camozzi going for the guillotine here, not able to get it, but there's the takedown, and now a beatdown from Chris Camozzi. Big hammer fist. Keith Peterson watching closely here, and Emiliano Sordi might be running out of gas. Like we said earlier, he's, 3 of his finishes last year in PFL, 5 fights to win the season. He finished 3 of them in less than 2 minutes. So, if Camozzi's game plan is to take this fight deep, looks like that's going to be a good idea. Gash can turn into a laceration after 1 sparring session, though. Yeah, you do not want to come in with a gash like that into a fight. You got to let that heal, in my opinion. I wonder what will TJ do to me if I call him Dragashaw to his face. Dana White, he's going to reschedule the fight between Corey and Dragashaw. Yeah, that one's not one you're going to bring in a last-minute opponent. Now, we were talking about earlier in the chat, guys, because we started at 5. And so we had a whole hour to talk MMA. I had a few call-ins. PBR Street Gang called in. John Coffey and Bruce the Lion Lachmedio all called in. So thank you guys for the call-ins. Round 2 here. Bruce, like I said earlier, will be fighting May 21st on BKFC 18. Tomorrow, we'll be doing BKFC 17 here on the show. Oh, big right hand there from Sordi. Oh, and a 1-2 from Sordi, and he floors Camozzi. And now Sordi's got to decide if he wants to take it to the ground or if he wants to let Camozzi back up while he's hurt. I mean, Sordi, he can finish it from anywhere. I'm a pay-per-view guy. I don't really care about fight night cards. Oh, TJ Dillashaw and Corey can fight on the UFC 264 card. McGregor versus Dustin. That's a good one. That's definitely a good one. All right, guys. I wrote some new trivia questions last night, so now we got some people in after this fight. We'll jump on trivia. I know we haven't had it for a while. And Emiliano Sordi with full mount here, looking to take Chris Camozzi out in his PFL debut. Oh, big right hands from Sordi. And Emiliano Sordi trying to break the jinx so far in Season 3 of PFL. Last week was the first week of the new season, and both the welterweight and the lightweight champion were both defeated. Nathan Schultz. I knew the name would come to me. Big shots from the top here from Sordi. Nathan Schultz, champion Nathan Schultz lost, and champion Lance Palmer. They both lost. Big right hands. And like I said, Anthony Pettis lost. If you would have bet all underdogs last week on the main card, I mean, you would have made a haul. Big right hand there from Sordi. More than half of the third round left, but you can tell both these guys pretty tired. And Emiliano might be more tired even, but he's on top. Now is when he's a champion. He's a PFL champion, heart of a champion. Oh, and Camozzi almost rolls him there. Camozzi's rolled him a couple times. Oh, there's a right hand. Oh, quick transition there from Sordi. I thought he was going to go with the mount. Looks for side control, ends up in half guard here. Now he's going to drag Camozzi up against the fence. I mean, I'm a diehard MMA fan, but it's just some cards that don't excite me at all. Oh, I hear you, man. Big shots here from Sorty. Looking to make Keith Peterson stop this fight. But you see total strikes overall very close. 107 to 103, 108 now currently. So almost even as far as strikes landed. I had it a round apiece coming into this round, though, and I have Emiliano Sordi winning this round comfortably. Work all done. Way cool to talk to you, MMA Mike. Hey, it was cool to talk to you, PBR. Thanks for calling in again. And Sordi pushing Camozzi up against the fence here. Minute left in this fight. Oh, big uppercuts from Sordi. Oh, and he almost landed a knee to a ground opponent. That was very close. Nice right uppercut as Camozzi got up and Sordi takes him right back down. No call for anything from Keith Peterson. That was very close. I'm not a big fan of the no knee to a downed opponent rule anyway, so if it was close, I don't care. But at the same time, you got to call it even for everybody, so I'd like to see the replay of that. And Sordi now on top and full mount. Looks like he's going to ground and pound this one out to a decision. Oh, big hammer fist here from Sordi and a big right hand. All right, there we go. The fight is over. And apparently I'm going to start having to have more chat nights, guys, because I lost half the people once the fight started. All right, Cage-nomics total strikes very close. 118 to 113. But I don't think that tells the whole story. I have it 29-28, comfortably Emiliano Sordi. Derek Lewis versus Nagano in the works. Yeah, looks like John Jones going to hold out. Looks like that fight's not going to happen. So, all right, guys, I have some trivia. All right, just waiting for this decision. Like I said, I wrote all new trivia questions last night. We may have talked about some of them in the chat earlier. I'm not sure, but if so, I guess that's a reward for being here early. Mike, which MMA organization do you like better? UFC, Bellator, One Championship, PFL? I don't really feel that's a fair question right now. Just because there's so much talent in the UFC. They have so much money. They can really just buy up all the talent for the most part. They have so much marketing and everything behind them. They're definitely putting on the most fights and the best fights. I really like ONE FC's rule set. I like, their idea of no weight cutting. I don't know if that's practiced quite the way they say it is. I've heard some people cast shadow of doubt on that. But I like the knees to the head of a down opponent. I just like different things, too. I like seeing MMA. I think it's best in a cage. But I like watching it when Rising comes and does it in a ring. Because it's different. We get to see something different. I like that variety. And you see the Fighter Max 100. Fans can give, fans and I guess members of the media can give up to 100 points for each round. And they have it like I have it, 29-28. Wish WEC was still around. Yeah, WEC was fun. And LFA's, LFA's still around, Titan FC. As Bruce was saying when he was in the chat earlier, he's had some fights for Titan FC. Invicta FC just signed a contract with AXS TV. Remember, AFL was over there before. They're going to take Invicta FC over now. All right, we're going to get the official score from the judges. Hopefully they can't screw this up. Two 29-28s and a 28-27. I'm not sure what that was about. But Emiliano Sordi gets the unanimous decision. I think that judge that scored at 28-27 apparently doesn't understand MMA. I don't know what that was all about. Maybe somebody misread that. I don't know. That was strange, though. Snake Plissken in the house. Torin, Robert Kerrigan. All right, let's have some trivia, guys. All right, everybody, refresh your browser. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you see earlier tonight, Antonio Carlos Jr., Cesar Fajea, and Martha Hamlet were all successful earlier in the top half of the card. And that is the leaderboard. Only 4 will make it to the playoffs this year. All right, first question of the night is a PFL question, guys. How many points do you get in PFL for a first round knockout? Remember, these are, they put points together, and that's how you decide who goes to the playoffs. How many points do you get for a first round knockout? UFC veteran Gleason Tebow coming up next, guys. Was always a fan of Tebow. All right, D. Brown gets it. The only one to answer at 6. Yes, the quick 6. 3 points for a decision. And then you get an extra point for finishing it in the third round. 2 bonus points for a second round finish. And 3 bonus points for a first round finish. So D. Brown gets the first question of the night. Let's throw another one out there. Who has the longest winning streak in the history of the UFC? With 16. What fighter has the longest winning streak in UFC history? With 16. Some of these were title fights, some of them not. Sam 302. D. Brown was right behind it, but yes, it is Silva. Anderson Silva. The Spider. All right, a point apiece for Sam and D. Brown. Let me put those in here to see who the champion will be tonight. I have not seen Billy in here yet. Usually the trivia brings him out if he's in here. So, all right, guys, this one should be a speed test. This man recently confronted Jake Paul at a UFC event, saying, "Keep my name out of your mouth." This man recently confronted Jake Paul at a UFC event saying, "Keep my name out of your mouth." Brock Ellery, that was quick. Daniel Cormier, like I said, and who wants to see that fight? If you want to see Jake Paul just get the ever-living, shit beat out of him, I guess that's the fight. All right, guys. Question number 4. Dana White recently said he was making a fight for this fan favorite who hasn't fought in 5 years. We have talked about this. Dana White recently said he was making a fight for this fan favorite who hasn't fought in 5 years. DC, too easy, Mike. Brock, that was fast. I must be behind. Yeah, I think everybody needs to refresh. It seems like some of you are a bit behind in the chat. I put too many letters in T-Bow's name, apparently. Just AU. All right, guys. Gleason T-Bow. 28 fights in the UFC. I didn't realize he had that many fights. 16 and 12. Making his PFL debut now. Do you want to see a dead body? Daniel Cormier versus Jake Paul, right? It is not Mike Brown. What fighter is coming back? Dana says, I'm going to make this guy a fight. He's been out for 5 years. This should be easy, guys. I do want to see a slow-mo KO of Jake Paul finally getting it. Sick of that turd. I hear you. Come on, I'll even give you a clue. 209, Stockton, what? All right, Gleason T-Bow, 2 years older at 37 years old. Zeffirino, an inch taller at 5'9", and an inch reach advantage, 69 inches. Oh, D. Brown, I missed you. Oh, it just says Nia Essim. But you got a D. Brown. Nick Diaz. D. Brown gets it. Second one of the night for D. Brown. All right, guys. We'll go to round 1. All right, guys. Representing Brazil with the mixed martial arts record of 35 wins, 14 losses, 14 submissions, and 4 knockouts. He is a plus 148 underdog tonight. Gleason T-Bow. All right, guys. We're also representing Brazil with an MMA record of 24-9. 16 submissions, 4 knockouts. He is a minus 170 favorite tonight. Joao Zeffirino. Nick versus Colby. I'll take Nick Diaz for 400, Mike. Oh, that's an interesting idea. We could have trivia nights all on one fighter. Yeah, you could have a trivia night about Nick Diaz or the Diaz brothers. All right, here we go, guys. T-Bow in the red gloves. T-Bow in the black shorts. Zeffirino in the blue. Blue and red. Oh, nice left hook there from Zeffirino to start this out. And T-Bow walks into a straight right. I did not realize 28 bouts in the UFC for Gleason T-Bow. I know he'd been around for a long time, but wow, that's a lot. Straight right there from Zeffirino. That really puts you in an elite group. And now making his PFL debut, looking for that $1 million. Nice right hand there from Zeffirino. Oh, good exchange there. Man, both guys landing shots. Zeffirino getting the better of that exchange. Good jab there from Zeffirino. And I mean, T-Bow, he always looks like a muscle-bound beach body, but he does not have a lot of knockouts on his record. Out of all of his fights, I mean, I think he only has like 4 knockouts. So that shows you that, muscles don't necessarily equal power. Nice right hand there from Zeffirino. And a good jab. A lot of feigning and filling out now. Body kick there from Zeffirino. I'm surprised we haven't seen T-Bow try to take this to the ground yet, halfway through the first round. Oh, nice left hook there from Zeffirino, and they clinch. Because, I mean, T-Bow, just look at him. He's so strong in the clinch. Whatever happened to Melvin Gerard? Last time I seen him, he was over there fighting in Ryzen. He actually fought Takanori Gomi right before the pandemic, I think. Gomi knocked him out. But T-Bow threw Khabib a fight, that's for sure, right? T-Bow needs to retire. I don't know if Zeffirino was in the UFC or not. It's been so many fighters now. Or was it because Khabib was green in UFC? Maybe. T-Bow maybe put up the best fight against Khabib. Alex. What's up, Alex? Yeah, he's not putting up the most exciting fight right now, unfortunately. And as we're watching this fight, you guys, who do you want to see Nick Diaz fight? Dana says he's looking for a fight with Nick Diaz. I think him stepping in against Donald Cerrone, since Diego Sanchez jumped out, I don't. That's not a bad matchup. It's kind of tough for coming back after 5 years, but I would love to see him against Diego Sanchez. To be honest, I mean, we can't expect, in my opinion, Nick to come back and just jump in there with the elite, with the with a Jorge Masvidal or a Justin Gaethje or anybody like that. Even a Dan Hooker. I feel like that would not really go well. Good fight to rewatch. Max would have lost it if HR found Khabib. Fought Khabib. Nick Diaz versus Matt Brown. Oh, I like that fight, D. Brown. That would be fire. Certainly should be exciting. And I mean, Nick, I could see what people are saying. Nick versus Colby. That would be an exciting fight with those styles. I don't think Nick could fight Colby Covington right now. I don't think he's in any kind of shape for that. Nice straight right there from Zeffirino. And, I'm just basing that on anybody that's been gone for 5 years. Nick said he was retired for a long time. The strange thing was, he was suspended 5 years for marijuana. And, that eventually was overturned. They changed the rules. He ended up sitting out 5 years anyways. I wonder if there was ever any thought process in that. As to why he sat out so long. I know he was saying he was retired the whole time. All right, Chicago Bulls to welcome spectators back on May 7th. The Chicago Bulls and the Blackhawks will both have 25% capacity starting May 7th. So good to see some things coming back to normal. Masvidal been in the UFC since 2013, 8 years. Crazy Donald Cerrone been in the UFC since 2011. Nice, that was a joke. Who will step up in UFC match against Cerrone May 9th? Kevin Holland wants it. Of course he does. Yeah, Nick Diaz versus Christopher Cyborg was amazing. And Gleason Tebow, now he goes for the takedown. Finally he gets it. Gets it pretty easily. Oh, beautiful transition from Severino. Gets up easily. And they're back to the center of the cage. What's up, Grassy Tigers? Let's go Millender. Oh, Chris Cyborg. No, Evangelista Cyborg. Santos used to be married to Chris. Of course, he is retired now. Oh, nice exchange there. Good right hand from Tebow. The left hook lands for Zeffirino. And clinch back up again. Rory MacDonald versus Curtis Millender still to come. Diego versus Sanchez was a classic. Diaz takes the rematch. What's up, Kane Stray? Yeah, I like that fight as a comeback fight for Diaz, though. Pretty sure Dick Diaz wants a big name opponent. He doesn't want to fight a Cerrone or Matt Brown. Neither one are money fights. Think he should fight Jorge Masvidal. Well, I mean, if he wants to come back for one fight and, make some money on getting his butt kicked. Because, honestly, I just think that's what's going to happen. But you never know. I'm a big Nick fan. But for some marijuana? You in here for some marijuana? Boo this man. I remember Cyborg's terrible head injury from MVP. Oh, man, that was horrible. I want to talk to Samson. This thing. Oh, it's great. Oh, nice 1-2 there from Zeffirino. Another right hand from Zeffirino who's really outstriking Tebow. Tebow was, nice left hook there from Tebow and a right hand. Tebow took Zeffirino down once, but Zeffirino popped right back up. And so I think Zeffirino is definitely winning this round. Nice body kick from Zeffirino. I don't really want to give the first round to anybody. There really wasn't much action. So I guess a 10-10. How do you come up with a 28-27, though? In the last fight, we had a 28-27. That means you gave the winner 9 points in a 10-point must system when there was no points taken away. Nice exchange there. A combination from Tebow. I know, man. They took some of the guys' best years. Can't help but think of half-baked rehab scene. Oh, yeah. And plus, Nick Diaz says he wants to avenge his younger brother Nate lost when he fought Jorge. Well, it may happen, but I think you're just gonna give Jorge a win over both Diaz brothers. But it would definitely be an interesting lead up. Nice 1-2 there from Tebow. How about this? I don't know that Nick could handle this mentally going through. But check this out. Next season's Ultimate Fighter, Jorge Masvidal and Nick Diaz. That is must-see TV. Nice body kick there from Zeffirino. I have a feeling that Nick would not be able to handle it and probably end up leaving. It's just not his thing. I think that's too much attention. But, man, would it be great. And Zeffirino shooting for the takedown. Tebow stops it. Nice knee to the body there from Zeffirino. That's right, Nick. It never has been KO'd. Sam 302, I call that fight the Dent. Oh, that was horrible. Technically 6 years since Nick Diaz fought. His last fight was against Anderson Silva. Yep, February 2015. You're right. Nick would never. How about Nick Diaz versus Charles Oliveira? That would be interesting. I mean, you're going to get my title shot right out of the gate, though, if Oliveira gets past Gaethje? I mean, I see the draw for stylistically as a matchup. It's just, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I just don't feel like it's fair to think that Nick can compete with the elite in the UFC right out of the gate. I mean, I guess if that's what he's asking for, that's what he's asking for. But if that's the case, why doesn't he just take the winner of Conor and Dustin? If he just wants a money fight. Yeah, Charles fighting Chandler next, a.k.a. Charlie Olives. Gets my vote. Granite Chin. Yes, he does, Kentre. Yes, he does. You know, two guys I would have liked to see fight back in the day, and it would be a more even fight if they're the same weight maybe now, is Nick Diaz and Chris Lieben. Stylistically, I think that would be really interesting. Nice body kick there from Zeffirino. I imagine Nick would have taken it back in the day. I don't know how it would go now. Lieben just retired after that knockout of Quentin Henry in bare knuckle. But man, he's got an almost indestructible chin. What weight is Donald Cerrone fighting at? He's fighting at 170 now, but I think he flips back and forth. Volume, power, good matchup. Yep. Nice right hand there from Zeffirino in a combination. And Tebow trying desperately to get this fight to the ground, but Zeffirino has been almost perfect with the takedown defense. Now Zeffirino's going to go for a takedown. I don't think he's going to get Tebow. Tebow's too good of a grappler, I think, for that. Not without setting it up. He's going to have to distract him and get it in combination or something. Hook to the body there from Gleason. We watch Oliveira evolve. I remember him back in the day. Yep, have you seen how fat Rampage Jackson got? Dude, he was so fat against Fedor. He was so fat against Fedor he could barely move in that heavyweight fight. It was horrible. Oh, nice 1-2 there from Tebow. There's a lot of fighters who have, issues who have issues after fighting with eating, because you got to think about it. Having concussions cause impulse controls. And what is overeating? It's an impulse issue. I think I've been pretty open about it. I had that issue here on the show. The pandemic, I'm down 24 pounds as of today in the last little less than 6 months. I'm taking it off slowly, but not even really super consciously, I guess. Nice inside leg kick there from Zeffirino in an exchange. Good right hook from Tebow. But, no, the overeating, it's real, that impulse. Nice 1-2 there from Zeffirino. But the pandemic really helped me with that, because I'll admit I was eating way too much fast food, especially Taco Bell. And then, just not being able to go in, just the weird feeling of everybody wearing masks and stuff. I'm already at the store all day with that situation. I'm just like, I just don't want to go through it again. And then it really turned me off. I went to a drive-thru and somebody asked me if I would wear my mask, if I'd mind wearing my mask while I went through the drive-thru in my car. I said, I'm not wearing my mask in my car. You can serve me or not, but I'm not doing that. Nice combination there. Big shot from Zeffirino. And I've just eaten out way less, and that's probably why I've dropped the weight. Nice 1-2 there from Tebow. And I've realized that I stopped having all those food cravings. It's just whatever they put in some of that fast food, the drugs. It's just, man, it's addictive. Nick is granddaddy of cardio. I like that. Woodley said him and Nick were supposed to fight when they were in Strike Force. That would be an interesting fight. If T. Wood had not just been cut, that's a really interesting fight, considering where Woodley is in his career, and Diaz coming back after such a long layoff. Rampage from Memphis. He just wants to eat barbecue and chill now. Skinny Rampage was dangerous. Yeah, it was. Rampage versus Nick Diaz would have been good. Oh, man, they were never the same weight, though. I mean, Rampage never fought below 205. No kidding. I hope he stays active. Yep. Alex Rampage doesn't even live in Memphis anymore. He's lived in California for the last 14 or 15 years. I think he moved out. I think he moved back. I know we talked about moving back. Yeah, fast food is terrible for us. We should aim to eat fast food as little as possible. Oh, nice combination. Our exchange here at the end, and a mostly not real exciting fight, guys. So, hope you don't mind that I kind of filled it in with talk about other things. Because there's just not a whole lot to talk about in that fight. And you see a total strikes. I mean, between the two of them, the guys landed 67 strikes in 3 rounds. An average of under 12 strikes each. Just not an exciting fight. I can't wait to see Rory versus Millender. Woodley and Nick Diaz are both at this point. Woodley 38, Diaz 37. Woodley's got a lot more miles on him. It's so hard because I hear about Nick sparring. I hear stories, but without seeing Nick fight since he fought Anderson Silva 6 years ago, without seeing him sparring, without really, knowing for sure what goes on in the day-to-day behind the scenes, it's just really hard to judge a fighter that's been inactive for so long to know what to expect. It's a real question mark until he gets in there. Still wants that barbecue. Who wouldn't? I had some top-notch barbecue in Tennessee. Some of the best I've ever tasted. Oh, that sounds good, Alex. All right, guys, we will throw some more trivia out after this decision. I imagine is going to Zeffirino. Not a real exciting fight, but I gave it to Zeffirino 3-0, 30-27. You could have maybe given Tebow the round where he got the takedown in. That first round, because there was not a lot of action. Actually, I said I called that a 10-10. That fight felt like it was so long, I forgot. So 29-20, or excuse me. What is that? 20. I had a count here. Sorry, 30-28. We don't have too many of those. So 30-28. For Zeffirino. Fast food. Memphis has some good ribs. Hell yeah, Bruce still out here delivering pizzas. Oh, that sounds tasty. That's another one of my weaknesses, Bruce. Natural Born Killer versus Nick Diaz. Yeah, I mentioned that one out there. A few people have. I do like that fight as well. So I'm going to say either a 30-27 for Zeffirino or a 30... like I said, a 30-28. Either way, it's Zeffirino. And I agree with those people that say Gleason Tebow should probably retire. I mean, you've got the fights, this PFL in the season. You've got guaranteed fights. So, I mean, I guess take your money on your way out. I don't know what the PFL is paying him, but so unanimous decision, J.L. Savarino. Basically what happened to Connor. So does weed and alcohol, but I'm not complaining. Nice. Memphis has good everything. I wish I lived in Bill Street. Pizza is my number one weakness. I'm a pizza fan big time. Steak Loves Pizza. Nice. Robert in the corner. Oh my goodness. For those that don't understand the inside joke on Robert and Corn, I'm not going to repeat it. Because I find it kind of revolting, Robert. Oh, Michelle Pahea versus Nick Diaz. That is such an interesting fight stylistically. There's Ray Cooper in the back. All right, a welterweight bout up next. Ray Cooper III. He was supposed to fight last week. So he had an issue where he had to be quarantined for longer. So I didn't even realize Ray Cooper III was going to be fighting tonight. But there we go. The welterweight champion is in the building. Oh, yeah, I did, because this is the welterweight night. I don't know what I was thinking. All right, Nick and Michelle both like to slap. That's funny. Grilled corn on the cob. Oh, grilled corn on the cob is pretty good. All those guys are washed up. Cerrone, Woodley, Condit, Nick Diaz, Matt Brown, Robbie Lawler. Yeah, I like Diaz versus Lawler, too, also. Like I'd said way earlier, for those that were in here, you know, the first time I seen Nick Diaz fight was against Robbie Lawler. Nobody knew who he was. He was a big underdog. Robbie Lawler was on top of the world, and Nick Diaz pieced him up with a big upset, and that's how he made his name. Really, that was when he came on the scene. I think Lawler is done. It's a snake. Like he's not fighting anymore, or he can't fight. I think he can fight good enough to fight Nick. I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, Tyron Woodley looked like he was done. Then yes, the chin is done. But then he comes out in that fight against Vicente Luque, and I give him a lot of credit. He put it all out on the line. And I believe they got fight of the night. I believe they got fight of the night, and then they didn't re-sign him. It was the last fight on his contract. They let him fight out his contract, even though, because he'd been champion for so long, even though he lost, what was that, 4 in a row? Yeah, but that was 4 in a row. Usman, Burns, Covington, and then Luque. Bring Rory MacDonald back to take on Nick. Ooh. That's a fight, fan dreams. I'm just trolling. Holloway doesn't need to retire. He's still young and good. Oh, I didn't even see where he said, oh, Max Holloway is old and washed up, needs to retire. That's funny. You guys hear about Wonder Boy versus Burns? I did now, Alex. Did they just announce that today? I didn't see it before. That sounds like a great fight. I would like to see Wonder Boy fight Usman, because that's, stylistically, that's the kind of fight that I really think could bring Usman a lot of problems. And if Usman, you know, I know a lot of people don't like the GOAT conversations, like who's better, but it can be fun. For those people that are already saying Kamaru Usman is the best, greatest welterweight of all time, listen, you need to go back and look at George St. Pierre's career. That's not happening yet. But I will I will defend Kamaru Usman being ranked as the current number 1 pound-for-pound fighter. All right, guys, let's refresh and throw a few trivia questions out real quick for the start of this fight. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, give you guys just a few more seconds to refresh. Burns going to destroy Wonder Bread. Wonder Boy was talking about getting the winner of Usman Masvidal. Mike Usman would destroy Wonder Bread very easy, in my opinion. I think he knocks out Thompson. He might. Burns was a surprise to me. I can't see Burns beating Thompson. All right, guys, trivia. Jiří Procházka, he's fighting next week against Dominic Reyes. He fought in this Asian-based promotion before coming to the UFC. What promotion was Procházka in before he came to the UFC? It's an Asian promotion. We've done a few of the events on here. Ray Cooper versus Jason Pone, I believe is how you say that. We'll find out when the announcer announces it. Let's see. Experiencer, what's up, Experiencer? You are correct. It is Ryzen. And other people had it, but Ryzen. Good to see you, Experiencer. All right, we'll throw one more out here real quick. It's just about to start. Who is the only fighter to defeat Crone Gracie in the UFC, the son of Hickson? Who is the only fighter to defeat Crone Gracie? All right, guys. Jason Pone, 4 years older at 32, 4 inches taller at 5'11". He'll have a 5-inch reach advantage at 75 inches. Believe it or not, Ray Cooper III will have a 1-inch leg reach advantage at 40 inches. Pone's got some stubby legs, 39-inch legs. You are correct, Experiencer. Cub Swanson, who is fighting Giga Chikadze on Saturday, May 1st. All right, guys, first out of the blue corner, representing France, 20-12 as a professional with 6 knockouts and 5 submissions. He is a plus 550 underdog, Jason Pone. All right, and out of the red corner, representing the United States, he is a minus 875 favorite. 27-1 with 14 knockouts and 6 submissions. He is the reigning, defending PFL welterweight champion, Ray Cooper III. Referee for this one is Gary Culp. I don't know if Crone Gracie is still in the UFC. It's hard to say who is and who isn't lately with the pandemic. I guess you have to look on the roster of fighters. Rory MacDonald's for Nathan Gracie. Yep. All right, guys, here we go. Ray Cooper III in the red and blue. Jason Pone in the black and gray shorts. Nice inside leg kick there from Jason. Night, boys. I got to be at work by 4 tomorrow. All right, have a good night, Snake. Thanks for coming in, man. Panay shooting for the takedown. Yeah, get some rest, man. Nice knee to the body there from Poney, putting Cooper up against the fence. 2 of last year's 3 champions have lost in their first fight this season. Oh, big slam there from Ray Cooper III, though, and straight into side control. Oh, look at this arm triangle from half guard. Cooper, he's got he's got a great angle here. He might get this. He's got a lot of leverage, and that's it. Jason Poney is out. Ray Cooper III with the first round submission. The quick 6, baby. And Ray Cooper talking to Poney, making sure that he's okay. And that's that, that's that Hawaiian heart. But when he's in the cage fighting, he's a killer. And Ray Cooper III showing he's not all hype. Putting Jason Poney out in less than 2 minutes. Big finish for the champion. The champ is here. The champ is here. Representing Hawaii, Ray Cooper III. Yes, it was a quick 6. Oh, refreshing, and only heard the last part of the Gracie question. Oh, no, you're good. Quick 6 and still, says Alex. Man, Ray Cooper III, this guy is not on anybody else's radar. As far as I know, really wasn't. But, I mean, he is a great guy to represent the PFL. But the way these tournaments happen is incredible. You all have to fight each other. And if Ray Cooper III is going to repeat, he's going to have to go through the Red King coming up next. Former UFC phenom, former Bellator champion, Rory MacDonald. No punches thrown from Ray Cooper III. Oh, did he not throw any punches? Yeah, I can't think of any. Wow. That is pretty incredible, Robert. Good catch. And, man, Rory is next, guys. The Red King. All right, guys. An update, a to-the-minute update as of 3 minutes ago, guys. Very little about the news. Diego Sanchez was out of his next UFC fight. Seemed like a normal fight withdrawal. That news came Wednesday when it was revealed Sanchez, 30-13, was out of his welterweight co-main event against former teammate Donald Cerrone. Thursday, Sanchez posted on his Instagram stories that he was free at last and tagged Bellator, One Championship, BKFC, and others, implying he is no longer with the UFC and is a free agent. UFC officials have not officially announced Sanchez is out of the fight or if he's a free agent, and did not immediately return a request from MMA Junkie for comment. Those who follow Sanchez on social media, though, may have seen some things brewing between the long-time UFC fighter and President Dana White. Not long before Sanchez was out of the bout, he posted an online gripe from October 2020. I know there's been some complaints that a bus left him. He needs to get away from that Joshua Fabia guy. That guy's a complete jackass. And Diego Sanchez, I've said it before. I think I said it earlier. And I hate to put it like that. I've been a big Diego fan for a long time, but that guy's got hit in the head too many damn times. And to get caught up with a guy like Joshua Fabia is just really sad. McDonald's a hell of a fighter. I think Diego Sanchez and his coach claim that UFC had abandoned them at the airport. Yep, that's causing him to feel mistreated. So he went to the restroom, and when he came back, the UFC fighter bus had left. And Fabia called the UFC. They sent him an Uber. They picked him up. Mistakes happen. I really don't see there being ill intent between the UFC and Diego Sanchez. Why you would want to take your first ever Ultimate Fighter champion and leave him at the bus for what reason? For what reason? I could see them feeling disrespected because they forgot about him, but the guy's been in how many fights with the UFC? And, he's ready to leave over one mistake. One mistake. Diego Sanchez versus the UFC, I was going to put. No. Rory MacDonald coming up next, guys. The Red King versus Curtis Millender. And I know there's people that think that Curtis Millender has a good shot in this fight. I am not one of them, but, that's why they have the fights. Can you believe Phil Davis' net worth is only $400,000? That's sad. MMA fighters are so underpaid. Well, Torrin Brown, where are you reading that from, though? I don't doubt it. That is quite possible. I know that Phil has made over $200,000 for one fight. He doesn't fight often. He's not a super active fighter. But I will say, when you go online, if you just Google somebody, usually the site that comes up for net worth for people is ridiculously inaccurate. Ridiculously. And, I haven't actually done this particular fighter, but I'm just going to do this. What is the net worth of Conor McGregor? And then... Okay. Well, this is from 2020, so it may be correct. It says $120 million. But Conor McGregor just sold his stake in Proper 12, which was not his decision, by the way. So if anybody's going to be mad at him about that, I think it's Jose Cuervo, the company that owns Jose Cuervo, had always held out the option to buy Conor out of most of his shares. Conor still owns just, a small part of the company. They decided to exercise that option, and Conor McGregor got $600 million. So, criticize Conor all you want, and I definitely have, but it's not like he needs the money. He's in there fighting. If he puts everything in there and he beats Dustin Poirier, shout out to him for still being hungry. So, yeah, the answer is Torrin. I don't know. I've seen Joe Rogan's net worth being thrown out there at $25 million, though, and I know that he got paid over $100 million for the Spotify deal. So, that really doesn't make sense. Curtis Millender warming up in the back. Looks like we're going to have a little bit of time, I think, before this fight. Let's throw some more trivia out there, guys. Finish up the trivia. And refresh your browsers. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What's up, Greg Brimstone in the house? You're just in time for the main event. Rory MacDonald versus Curtis Millender. You just missed Ray Cooper choking out Jason Pernay in under 2 minutes. I believe he won the bout without throwing a punch. I don't think Conor is that hungry anymore. How could you be? He's human. All right, guys, next trivia question. This legendary kickboxer turned MMA fighter is now the coach of Rose Namajunas. This legendary kickboxer turned MMA fighter is now the coach of Rose Namajunas. Who is her head coach? Experiencer on fire tonight, Pat Barry. You are correct. Brock Ellery right behind you. As of March 2021, Joe Rogan net worth $100 million. Looked up the other day. Oh, I guess they did update it then. Thank you, Robert. Experiencer running away with the trivia tonight. It's Sam 302 getting the first one. Then D. Brown, then Brock Ellery. D. Brown gets the second one. And then Experiencer 3 in a row. So I guess it's 3-2 between Experiencer and D. Brown. All right, guys, exciting. This is going to be exciting news if you haven't heard it yet. Mike Tyson is said to have signed to fight this former champion in September. Who has it been announced that Mike Tyson is fighting in September? Comedic genius in the house! I missed you, my brother. I'm gay. I mean, what? Damn, mine's showing first. He's hacking. Yeah, it'll show. If you're close, it'll show first on yours. Really hoping Roy picks up the win. Greg Brimstone, you are correct. Lennox Lewis will fight Mike Tyson once again in September. I got to look around. Somewhere I have the magazine. The Sports Illustrated magazine, Monsters Ball, I believe it said on the cover of the first Mike Tyson versus Lennox Lewis fight. This one, I believe, will just be an exhibition again. I thought for sure it was going to be Evander Holyfield, and then Lennox Lewis kind of came out of left field. I mean, his name had been thrown out there a little bit, but yeah, I was surprised. Mr. T. That's great. Yeah, of course, the one time I don't guess Lennox Lewis. I guess on almost every heavyweight boxing question. Hulk Hogan to be a good one, comedic. It's all right. Greg Brimstone coming in late, but taking over trivia early. All right, let's throw another one out here quickly. All right, Jeremy Stevens. This is recent, so this could be a speed test. Jeremy Stevens pushed this fighter recently at a weigh-in, injuring him, causing the fight to be canceled. Jeremy Stevens pushed this fighter recently at a weigh-in, injuring him and causing the fight to be canceled. There you go. Experiencer gets it. Drakkar close. Torn, you were close. Robert was close. Sorry, right behind him. Floyd Mayweather's fighting Logan Paul and who fucking cares? Excuse me, but yeah, I don't care about that fight. No offense. All right, guys, and you see the welterweight standings. Ray Cooper the third in number 1 with 6 points. Zeffirino with 3. Rory MacDonald versus Curtis Millender up next. Hey, and my Seattle Mariners won today. Just got to throw that out there. 1-0 over the Astros. So if you're a Houston Astros fan, too bad. All right, guys, let's throw another one out there. This fighter upset Anthony Pettis in his PFL debut. I think we talked about this earlier. Yes, it was Drakkar. You guys had it, but Experiencer had it first. This fighter defeated Anthony Pettis in his PFL debut. I still wear Drakkar cologne. He has a cologne? Are you serious? D. Brown, Clay Collier. Or Collard. It's actually Collard. Play Collier. I'm gonna give it to you, D Brown, but it is Collard. Greg, right behind you. All right, Curtis Millender, 3-2 in the UFC, 3-3 in Bellator, trying his hand at PFL now. Gets thrown into the Shark Tank right out of the gate with the former Bellator champion, Rory MacDonald. All right, guys, Curtis Millender, 2 years older at 33. Hard to believe Rory MacDonald's just 31 still. 2 inches taller at 6'2". MacDonald will have a 1-inch reach advantage at 79 inches. Leg reach even at 42. Collard, too easy, Mike. Yeah, that was a speed test. All right, I do have a few trivia questions to get to for anybody who's interested after this main event. All right, guys, out of the blue corner at plus 345, underdog, 18-6 as a professional. Former Bellator and UFC veteran, Curtis Millender. Robert, try curve. Olive green bottles. Still use axe. Let's go, Rory, says Greg. All right, and representing our good neighbors to the north, he is 21-6-1 as a professional, 7 knockouts and 7 submissions. A minus 475 favorite, a former UFC veteran, and the former Bellator welterweight champion, Rory the Red King MacDonald. Keith Peterson is the referee. Here we go. And guys, don't forget BKFC Bare Knuckle Fighting Championships tomorrow. And then UFC Reyes versus Prochaska on Saturday. Big weekend. Jab lands first for Curtis Millender out of the gate. Nice left hook there from MacDonald. MacDonald looking to give Curtis a lot of different looks coming out. Nice leg kick there from Millender. Put MacDonald a little off balance. Left hook there from Millender. Don't forget Rory MacDonald, almost retired when he was in Bellator. Said he didn't know if he could do this anymore. I thought he lost to a 43-year-old John Fitch. It was a majority draw. Fitch had won on one card. The other 2 cards were a draw. I thought Fitch easily won that fight. But Rory looking for the resurrection. Nice left hook there from Rory. Oh, and it's Rory that shoots for the takedown. Everybody was expecting Millender working on a guillotine. But Rory's not going to get caught in a guillotine in the first round. Rory's got to get in there and sweep that other foot out. Curtis Millender, just incredible balance here. Still use axe. Keith revs fights on Coors Light. Peterson. Huh. I think Keith sounds like he huffs pain daily. Oh, that's great. Comedic genius. Good to see you back in, brother. What you been up to, man? You are your appearances are few and far between anymore. One of the originals, comedic genius. Oh, and Rory finally gets the takedown here. And, of course, he is deadly on the ground. With deadly ground and pound. He's got some submissions. He's got the bag. He's got hooks in. This could be the beginning of the end for Curtis Millender. Rory MacDonald, very good at this. Very, very good. And he rolls Curtis over. Curtis is he's up a little high on Curtis for the rear naked. I mean, not saying he can't get a choke somehow, but he's up a little high. Anyone use Brood or Aqua Velva, says D. Brown. I don't use cologne. Just some deodorant and sometimes just a little aftershave, but and as you can see, I haven't used that in a while. And Rory's still working on the first round show. Oh, there it is. He's under the neck. I think he's got it. We'll see if Curtis taps or if he goes out. And Curtis taps it. There it is. Ray Cooper and Rory MacDonald both getting the quick six, both by first round choke. And those two are destined to fight each other. And man, it's going to be a hell of a match when it happens. But Rory MacDonald getting it done. Dad did, said Robert. That's deep. Yeah, that was deep. The quick six. What's up, Rusty? Good to see you, man. All right, let's throw some trivia out there. But first, let's talk about tomorrow's BKFC just real quick. Thank you for the call-ins today. PBR Street Gang, John, Coffee, and Bruce, the Iron Lion Lachmedio of Fake Black Belts, also has a bare knuckle fight on BKFC 18 on May 21st in about 3 weeks. So, all right, guys, just $3.99 a month for BKFC. Just go to bareknuckle.tv and you're going to get that, guys. Apparently, it logged me out, but I'm going to go here. More info. They still don't. It's out of Birmingham, Alabama. They still don't have the greatest info on there. So I'm going to bring it up on Tapology, which does not have the records and weights for some reason. BKFC really needs to do a better job with updating all their info. But Rory MacDonald, the winner here. Oh, sorry, guys. That's BKF 18. See, 18. See, they don't have anything yet. And I know from Bruce being on earlier that, of course, he's fighting. And Thiago Pitbull Alves will be fighting on BKFC 18. Oh. But we actually need BKFC 17. All right, guys, official time here for Rory. Three minutes, 38 seconds. First round submission, and that gets him 6 points. And him and Ray Cooper atop the leaderboard. Paige Van Zandt versus Rachel Ostovich. Battle of the Beauty. Yeah, Rachel Ostovich just signed with Bare Knuckle. Good call. But yeah, tomorrow, so guys, tomorrow, Kleckler versus Burns. So I like that Mark Godbeard is going to be fighting at heavyweight against Mick Terrell. Lorenzo Hunt will be fighting again against Josh Dyer. That's a good fight. Frank Tate in there. Dylan Kleckler and Josh Burns, like I said, in the main event. Marcel Stamps, Mike Richmond in the co-main event. So 8 fights on the main card. So that should be a good one. We'll do that tomorrow. Make sure and go over to bkfc.tv and sign up. Like I said, $3.99 a month, guys. Easy, easy, easy. No, it's a good crowd when they cheer for a takedown, right? Almost forgot how good Rory really is, right? All right, guys. Anybody that wants to finish up trivia, let's finish it up. And we'll refresh our browsers in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, guys. Who was the last fighter to defeat Leon Edwards? Leon Edwards been on a long streak. Who was the last fighter to defeat him? What's up, Alexander? Good to see you. How are you? I'm glad to see you. Hey, I'm doing good, man. Feeling good, feeling healthy, having fun watching fights. Thank you. Yes, Roy just won. First round submission. Yep, the Nightmare Nigerian tomorrow Usman. You are correct, D. Brown. All right, next up, Dustin Poirier won the interim lightweight championship against this fighter. Who did Dustin Poirier win the interim lightweight championship against? Oh, Siri, I'm using dictation. I figured by a few other things. Greg Brimstone, you are correct. Max Holloway. All right, guys. Artem Lobov fought this ex-MMA fighter in what was considered the greatest fight in BKFC history. Short history, of course, but who did Artem Lobov fight in that incredible fight that really got everybody excited? Jason Knight, you are correct. Greg Brimstone. Chris Lieben. Chris Lieben also fought in bare knuckle, but not against Lobov. And Greg making a late run here. Don't call it a comeback. He wasn't here earlier, but these former UFC contenders, this is another speed test, clash May 7th in the Bellator Light Heavyweight Grand Prix, making their respective debuts. These former UFC contenders clash May 7th in the Bellator Light Heavyweight Grand Prix, making their respective debuts. Need both of them. Who is fighting in Bellator on May 7th? Former light heavyweights, Rumble and Romero. You are correct, Greg Brimstone. God, am I looking forward to that fight. Guys, that's a week away from tomorrow. Anthony Rumble Johnson and Yoel Romero. Bader and Davis both were UFC guys, but it's Rumble and Romero are making their debuts. Oh, I thought you meant last May. Did they fight last May? Huh. All right, guys, last one of the night, unless we have a tie. Another speed test. Be quick. Anybody can get this. Michael Chandler knocked out this tough fighter in his UFC debut. Who did Michael Chandler knock out in his UFC debut? And Greg Brimstone, you are correct. Dan Hooker. I got to count up the points. We might have a tie up to that Greg Greg coming in late, routing. But here we go. Sam 302 had the first one. Then it was D. Brown. D. Brown had a lot. Then Brock Ellery. D. Brown goes to 2. And then Experiencer was in there too. Experiencer 1, 2. And then it was Greg 1, 2. 3. Then D. Brown goes to 3, 4. Then Greg goes to 4. Greg goes to 5. Greg goes to 6. Greg goes to 7. Greg Brimstone came in late. Didn't come in until the main event of the thing. But ends up winning it. Congratulations, Greg. Don't think so. Just former UFC guys that came in around at the same time. I'm on fire. This is Greg. No, not Pettis, Alexander. All right, guys. Yes, it was Hooker. Alexander. Good game, boys. Great. All right, guys. Thanks for playing trivia. Thanks for joining me for this PFL. Don't forget tomorrow, Bare Knuckle FC. It's always an exciting fight, guys. It's always an exciting event. Thanks for all those that called in earlier. Thank you, John Coffey, PBR Street Gang, and thanks to bare knuckle boxer and MMA fighter Bruce the Iron Lion Lachmedio. Came in. He has a fight on May 21st. Make sure and follow him on his YouTube, Fake Black Belts, YouTube, Instagram, all over there. Great guy. He's fighting May 21st. And thank you for all the donations tonight. To the premium members, new premium members, Chef Johnson. And then the rest of the premium members, Greg Brimstone, Milton Nelson, PBR Street Gang, premium member and a Patreon member. Arcade Chaos, Billy Hughes, Brock Ellery, John Coffey, Phil D187. I said new member, Chef Johnson. Also, thank you for donations from tonight from Chef Johnson, PBR Street Gang, and John Coffey. No, Rumble versus Romero is next week, Alexander. Trivia not fair. Type using one finger. I hate this. Need to buy a keyboard for my tablet. Oh, yeah, that would be tough with one finger, Robert. That's Rumble versus next week, Denick. Yep. Thanks for all right, guys. Thanks again for joining. I appreciate you all as always. I love you. I respect you. And I'll see your fine asses next time.